Hello everyone, my name is Susan Martucci and I'm the Volunteer Coordinator for Washington First Robotics. I'm here to give you a general volunteer briefing that will apply to all the FRC district events that we're holding in this 2014 season. You'll see my contact information on the first slide. You can reach me at susanm@firstwa.org. I can take care of any questions you have regarding volunteers, descriptions of the roles, how to use the volunteer system, those kinds of things. If you have any questions about the program in general, you can email Kevin Ross. He's our founding chairman, and his email is kevinrowe@firstwa.org. So let's get started here. The logistics are that this is going to be a recorded presentation, and the slides, PowerPoint slides, will also be available if you would just like to look through those. We'll answer kind of groups of questions as they come up when they're appropriate at part of the slide. The copy of this webinar and these slides will be located on the firstwa.org website, and if you'll look under the volunteers menu under the option webinars, there should be one called General Briefing 2014. And this general briefing is what applies to volunteers at all of the district events. There will be some short PowerPoint slides or possibly a recording for each of the specific district events, and that will give you very specific information about the exact times to arrive, the exact event schedule and parking, and a couple of those things that are custom per event. This information will go over general volunteer information, things like your pre-event paperwork, general logistics for an FRC district event, how to do volunteer check-in, a basic schedule overview, some key volunteers, and what to wear. Your pre-event paperwork. Each season you need to sign a consent and release form for US First. We will now have this consent form available online for you to electronically check that you agree to this form, and it will be available in your volunteer account. So you can log back into your volunteer account at the site volunteer.firstwa.org. Select the Account menu option and scroll down until you see the checkbox for Consent and Release. You'll be able to read the Consent and Release form and then place a checkbox that says you agree to it. When you come to do your volunteer check-in, we will have the information available that you have checked this box. If you can take care of that before you come to the event, check-in will go much smoother. Another thing that you might want to put in your volunteer profile, underneath your first, middle, and last name that were your legal name required for identification, there is a field called your preferred first name. So if your name is Michael and you'd like to be called Mike, or Robert and you'd like to be called Bob, put what you'd prefer to be called in that name field. It's not really for silly nicknames, but it is for an alternative preferred name that you would like us to print on your name badge. Now, what should you wear and bring? The basics are comfortable shoes and clothes. You'll be on your feet a lot. You'll be walking a lot during the day. The events are spread out between a couple of different gyms. And it's definitely a blue jean and t-shirt event, so wear comfortable clothes. No open-toe shoes or heels, however. We need closed-toe shoes, and there will be safety advisors checking on these kinds of things. Tennis shoes are your best option, walking shoes. We will give you a free t-shirt, so come prepared on your first day that we will give you a t-shirt, and we would like you to wear the t-shirt during the event. It helps us to identify our volunteers amongst all the other spectators and team members. Now, if you have an assignment that is considered on the field, this would be things like field reset or referees or scorekeepers, all of those roles, team queuing, that happen in and around the field. Your dress code is just a tiny bit more stringent in that we'd like you to be wearing long pants and darker jeans if you have them, and you will be required to wear your volunteer t-shirt. We're looking for a uniform appearance on the field. We will be live streaming video of the entire event, and we want to have kind of a professional uniform appearance looking on the cameras. So One other thing that you might like to have is a reusable water bottle. We'll have places around the schools and venues for you to fill your water bottle, save some money and resources. However, be sure that you label it with your name. One note about your belongings: you will have a place to drop your coat and any other general belongings you have, but it will be in an unlocked, kind of an open volunteer lounge that is not likely to be attended by someone in a security role. So please don't bring anything valuable that can't be left unattended. And lastly, bring your gracious professionalism. Things don't always go exactly as planned, and this is definitely a new model for us this year. So roll with it and help us get through it. And if everybody's got their gracious professionalism on, things are going to be awesome. Any questions there? It doesn't look like it. General logistics about the events. This time we're having 10 events, district FRC events, that will lead to one championship event. 7 of those 10 events will be held in local high schools in Washington and Oregon. 3 of the events will be held on university campuses, and then our district championship will be at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Portland, Oregon, where it has been in previous years. For the events that are in the schools, generally the students that go to that school will be on campus during the Friday portion of our event. So our event schedules may have some adjustments to accommodate our host schools, and if we have some special accommodations based on timing, either when you're to arrive or not arrive, where you're to park, those kinds of things, please take extra special care to follow these individual requirements so that we are welcome back at our schools in another year. We are really trying to work with them, and they're trying very hard to work with us. One of the challenges at many of the schools will be parking on Friday, since the school population and the teacher population, and we will be adding about 1,000 people to their event space, then it's going to be a little bit tight. So each venue will likely have some very specific parking policies that we would like to follow, especially on Friday. Usually none of our venues will have any problems on Saturday. There'll be plenty of available parking. Carpool if you can, that will help out a lot. The logistics regarding food. If you're volunteering with us for the entire day, then we will be feeding you, and we're going to provide breakfast, lunch, and a snack in the afternoon. We will provide a vegetarian option, and if you look back in that volunteer account profile where you were able to specify your preferred first name and your consent, you also have an option to specify whether you are a vegetarian. If you would like to indicate that, it helps us with our meal planning so that we can be sure to have enough vegetarian options. Vegetarian and basically non-vegetarian will generally be the 2 distinctions that we'll make between our meal options. If you have other really special dietary needs or some severe allergies, you may need to bring your own meals or snacks. In addition to what we're going to provide the volunteers, almost all of the venues will have concessions available. So you can pick up some snacks and things if you want to from the groups at the schools who are raising money through their concessions. Let's see. Oh, the breakfast and lunch. Breakfast is going to begin around 7 a.m. in the morning. Lunch will be on Friday. It's generally going to be a little bit later than average if we're working in a school. So we also have a snack in the afternoon to kind of get us through our long day on Friday and on Saturday. Volunteer check-in. So in the events that are held in the high schools, in general, the volunteer check-in, volunteer registration area will be adjacent to or next to the pit administration, so in the pit area. Each of the slides representing the specific events will have kind of a mapped location, so you'll be where the check-in is. At the university venues, the check-in is generally located near one of the entrances to the gym where the field will be set up. And again, there will be signs that you can follow to look for volunteer check-in. The very first time you come to volunteer check-in, you'll need to bring a photo ID so that you can get checked in, and at that time you'll receive a volunteer badge with your name and your job listed on it. You'll get an event t-shirt, and you'll get some safety glasses if you need them. If you wear eyeglasses normally, the safety glasses, we do have some styles that go over your glasses, but if you prefer, you might want to look into some side shields that could go on your own glasses to make them more comfortable to wear. Each day you will check in. The first day, like I said, you'll get a lot of information and your t-shirt and things, but on the other days that you check in, you'll bring your badge up to the volunteer check-in, and your badge will have a barcode on it. You don't have to wait in the line anymore once you have your badge. You simply slide up right to the front of the line and get your badge scanned, and you can move on into your job or the volunteer lounge. On Friday and Saturday mornings, volunteer check-in will start at 7 a.m. and breakfast is available immediately after that you check in. When you go check in and head down to the volunteer lounge for breakfast, that's where you will start to meet up with your key volunteer who will give you additional instructions about where you'll be working or how you might learn your job or something like that. Okay. Any other questions about volunteer check-in? Okay. What to do? Please do. Actually, you'll need to wear your safety glasses all the time when you're in either the pit area or the field area. And again, we will provide those for you. Try to be gracious and polite. I don't even really need to say this one. The volunteers in the Pacific Northwest are just fabulous. But we are here for both the students and the guests to have a great event and encourage them and to have fun and just make it a spectacular day for everybody. So do your best to be a part of that. As you're doing your job or hanging around at the event, I want to encourage you to talk to some of the students that are at this event. They are incredibly impressive and they are motivated and excited. So high fives and praise go a long way to let them know you're excited about what they're doing, and they love to let you know what they're doing too. So enjoy yourself as well as volunteering for us. A basic overview. So this is in general for the whole events. On Thursday afternoons at almost all of the events, we will have field and pit set up. It starts at varying times depending on what time our truck can get in there, what time we are allowed to get into the school. On Thursday evening, or possibly on Friday morning, most of the events on Thursday evening, the teams will check in and have robot inspection. There are two events, the Mount Vernon and the Oregon State University, that do not have any team check-ins going on Thursday night. Those are on Friday mornings only, but just for those two events. The remaining 8 events have a Thursday evening team check-in and robot inspection. Then on Friday, everybody does practice matches, depending on how early you start, at which venue you are. Practice matches lead to an opening ceremony, then qualification matches. The qualification matches continue on to Saturday morning from Friday. And the afternoon on Saturday, we get our elimination matches with alliances. And then finally, later in the afternoon, around 4:30, we'll have an award ceremony. This schedule is different in a couple of ways, and one of them is that we only have one award ceremony, so that will be on Saturday only. There is no award ceremony on Friday. So any other questions there? Key volunteers. So throughout the event, there are key volunteers who are working and are in charge of particular areas of the event, and will have probably some extra knowledge or training to work in that particular area. If you need some help answering some questions, you might need to direct somebody to a key volunteer, or you may be learning your job from a key volunteer. A couple of them that we want to go over. If you're being asked information about the game or a ruling about the game, or some team has an issue with how the game was played in a particular match, the only ones who can answer those kinds of questions are the referees. So you would direct them to go to the question box to talk to the referees. If there are questions about the requirements for the robot and if something is legal or illegal on the robot, that is the purview of the robot inspectors. So we have a lead robot inspector and the team of robot inspectors. They have been trained and certified to be able to answer questions about what can happen on the robot. The field supervisor works with the field technical advisor, and they take care of the field, whether it's repairing the field or having all the electronics work on the field, kind of making the game happen and have everything that works there. The only one that I didn't list here that you might really need is pit administration. In the pits, there is going to be an administration table, and that will have a lot of general information. There will be an announcer there who can get information out to teams. There'll be lost and found that will happen there, and it will kind of be a general hub of information. So if we're not sure and need to find an answer to a question, probably a good place to go is pit administration. Spectators. Yes, we would love to have spectators. This event is free and open to the public. It's a great family-friendly event. Friday afternoon and Saturday are the best days for spectators to come and observe the event. And if they're looking for kind of a particular time window, you might want to suggest Friday afternoon between, say, 2 and 6 p.m. or Saturday afternoon between about 1 and 5 p.m. If your spectators or friends cannot make it to the event, they can go to our website at firstwa.org, and there will be a live stream going on that will have all of the action. We've got multiple cameras that will be streaming live video and audio of the event, so it should be fairly exciting. So bring spectators, get the word out. Oh, and let me thank you. Thank you to all of you volunteers who are taking time out of your busy weekends and work schedules to help put these events on. With these events in just the FRC season this year, you're going to directly impact over 4,000 students. It's an amazing reach into students interested in science and technology now. We are definitely changing our culture for the better, but we absolutely could not do these events without you. So thank you very much for taking time out of your day to come do this with us. Now, if you need to contact someone, one of the biggest questions that I get is, what is my job assignment? Volunteer coordinators are working at each of the specific events, making job assignments using the volunteer management system. If you log into your account at volunteer.firstwa.org, you can select the assignments menu, and that will show you all of the assignments that you have been given at events in order by date. If you've offered to work in an event and you do not see an assignment yet, that doesn't actually mean you don't have one yet. It just means your assignments are probably tentative at this point in time, or we haven't finished making the assignments. Until we finish shuffling everyone around and finding out exactly how many volunteers we have in an event, we have to kind of distribute who we do have among several locations. So you may have some tentative assignments in the background, and you would not see that notation that it was tentative until we've made a final decision and kind of moved everybody into an official assigned spot. Once you're assigned, it pops up there, and you'll be able to see it. If you have specific questions about your event that you're going to, feel free to contact the volunteer coordinator for that event. If you haven't been in contact or don't know who your volunteer coordinator is, you're certainly welcome to email me at susanm@firstwa.org, and you can look for in the volunteer management system, while it's not active right at this moment, very shortly a feature will come online that will allow you to email the volunteer coordinator for each event that you have volunteered for and have easy access to get them a message, whether it's a change of your availability or you just have an event-specific question that you'd like to find out. Anything else? Well, this is your basic volunteer information. Anything else would be within the specific volunteer briefing, and that's basically going to cover the exact time you should arrive for a particular event and also where you should park. Those are the only two other pieces of information that need to change per event. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me, and thank you for listening.